Well, it's schizophrenic weather here in the Pacific Northwest, here on what is, at the moment, a lovely Sunday, but as they always say, wait 5 minutes and see what happens. We're here at Cheney Stadium in Tacoma, Washington this afternoon. Seattle Sounders FC2 will play host to the Oklahoma City Energy FC. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on ESPN+. Alongside Dave Clark, I'm Andrew Harvey. And Dave, these are two teams that could really stand to find 3 points at the moment.
Yeah, both are struggling for the season, just 2 wins apiece. And it's essentially a battle to move up in the standings right now.
Well, Dave, as we're taking a look at the S2 roster, there is a pair of players this time that jump out to us. S2 signed 2 Australians earlier in the season, and they are making their first start alongside one another in the midfield this afternoon.
Yeah, the pair of them, both Australians, had preseason out here with S2, and this will be their first start together. We're both going to play in kind of that dual 10s in the 4-1-4-1. Anthony Burke-Gilroy and Jesse Daly, both joined out of semi-pro Australians. Both are normally more defensive players, so it'll be intriguing what they can do to apply pressure up top in a formation that will try to limit Oklahoma City's chances today.
S2 rotating a lot of players. We'll get to that in a minute, thanks to some people getting called up to the MLS Sounders for the U.S. Open Cup match against Sacramento this past Wednesday. On the other side of things, for the Energy, we've got our eyes on a local flair, as it were. Miguel Gonzalez is back in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, he's a multi-year pro now. His first team was the Kitsap Pumas, once trialed for the Seattle Sounders, and many of us may remember him from a great couple of seasons with Seattle U up there playing for Pete Fewing. He's had a couple of good years so far in the USL level, a little bit down this year, just over 300 minutes played, but he's a creative number 10, and if we watch him out on the field today, this might reignite his season.
The Energy winless on the road this season. They'll be hoping to turn that around against S2 this afternoon. It's Sounders 2 and the Oklahoma City Energy coming up after this. Welcome back to Cheney Stadium. Moments away from kickoff between Sounders FC2 and the Oklahoma City Energy FC. Let's get right into it with the starting lineups. First, for the visiting Oklahoma City Energy. In goal is Matt Van Oekel. The defenders from left to right, Richard Dixon, Kyle Hyland, Christian Ibiaga, and Drew Becky. Holding midfield of Callan Ross and Justin Chavez. Alex Dixon, Jose Baril, and Miguel Gonzalez. And you can see it there, filling in Christian Valesky. Dave, goals have been very hard come by for Oklahoma City Energy this season.
Valesky is their only multi-goal scorer. He has all of 2. They have 5 other guys with a single goal on the year.
On the other side of the equation for S2, Dave, a lot of changes in John Hutchinson's side.
A lot of changes and a lot of teenagers. S2 had several players called up to the Open Cup match, so their regular starters are all on the bench today. Look for Dylan Tevez, pay a lot of attention to him. The youngster just turned 18, and he'll be the holding midfielder today.
Your referee is Rosendo Mendoza. Assistant referees Josh Hames and Seth Martin. The fourth official is Brandon Stevens. Mendoza set the ball down. David Estrada is over the ball. S2 in rave green with blue shorts will be moving from right to left on your screen here in the first half. The Energy in all white with green trim headed back the other way.
The Energy, similar to the Sounders, often play in their green kits, almost the same tone and shades of S2.
Well, these two teams, I think, both might agree they have a frustrating amount in common so far this season. S2 2-7-2, the Energy 2-9-1 overall. Mendoza checks his watch. Just awaiting final word. And there's the whistle. We're underway here at Cheney Stadium. 90 minutes of USL action this Sunday. Quick ball out toward Kyle Highland. He's lost it out of play. And under early pressure, S2 have a chance to attack. Denzo Ulysses take the throw in from the far side. Ulysses toweling off the ball. Thrown toward the head of RJ Stretch. And cleared away. Settled by Uzman. One back by Dylan Tevez. Tevez, a player, Dave, that, well, I guess we can say he's 18 now, but at the start of the season, made his debut at just 17 years of age on the season opener and acquitted himself well enough that he's become a regular contributor.
Yes, I believe this is his 8th match, or 9th match. He had 8 early in the year, took a break for a couple of weeks, and now we see him back out here. This team having some depth behind Narbonne and Sari is important for them.
Richard Dixon back to Matt Van Oekel. Van Oekel, long hit ball. It's gone out of play. Opposition goalies and sometimes even S2 zone goalies can have difficulty trying to play the ball out of their box. Kind of a narrow pitch here at Cheney Stadium. Collision there on the near sideline leads to an Energy throw-in. Richard Dixon will toss it in. Pardon me, take the free kick rather. Finds Drew Becky. Highland. Immediately under pressure all over the pitch. You can see that high press that John Hutchinson likes to play. Ball put back in play. Sakari Carter gave chase to it. Alex Dixon tried the ball in. And Dixon unable to corral that ball. Of course, Steve Cook, head coach of the Energy, as if trying to make it more difficult for us, has Alex Dixon playing on top of Richard Dixon over there on the right side of the pitch. No doubt just to make things confusing for everyone involved. Looping ball there, and will lead to an Energy throw-in. It'll be Richard Dixon to take it. Looking for his runner. Picks out Valesky. And ball in from Dixon, headed back out. That one off the head of Sakari Carter. Energy holding most of the possession here. Baril. Miguel Gonzalez, the local product. S2 really just unable to get a whiff of the ball here in the opening minutes, Dave.
A lot of chasing right now. Earlier they were pressing high and that seemed to be working for them, but once Oklahoma got through that, they were able to maintain possession a little too long.
Ball back to Kai Briscoe. And Briscoe, more often than not, Dave, deployed as a right back, at least in the time he has played here in the USL, asked to play center back today.
Yeah, with Sam Rogers out with illness, Rodrigo LA playing in the Open Cup. The center back was a little light for S2. Not a lot of options. Both Briscoe and Carter are academy players playing up today.
Highland wants the ball over the top. Valesky gives chase. Carter breaks up the through ball. And, well, can be no debate on that one. Free kick going the way of Oklahoma City.
Daly wanted to debate it for a little bit there.
Well, you certainly can't fault him for trying, but if you take another look at it here, I think you'll see that the referee's decision was made pretty easy. Chavez, and, well, he'll go square to Richard Dixon, and Dixon will play in the long ball. Callie Brown immediately off his line, goes for the punch, but he's still caught out a little bit here. And the flag was up for offside in any case. Brown looking for Usman. Daly spills it. That ball came off the referee. Estrada trying to get to that ball. And that's going to draw a free kick and a very early booking as David Estrada was waylaid just past midfield. Another look at it here. Estrada picks up that loose ball. And just reckless challenge in from Drew Becky, who was signed to the club just a couple days ago, back on the 7th of June. And that will be the record of his first involvement.
That might have just been a case that he hasn't played for a while. MLS fans might remember Becky. He was drafted by the Columbus Crew, spent most of his time with the Ottawa Fury here as a professional, down at the lower levels, whether NASL or USL.
Daly goes square with the restart. Carter gives it back to him. S2, I like to use the free kick just to try to retain some possession. RJ Stretch looking for Ulysses, and Ulysses run down from behind by Miguel Gonzalez. Callum Ross. Baril. And Ibiaga. This is Ibiaga squaring up with David Olson. Two of the more veteran guys on the pitch. Ibiaga, 28 years of age, Estrada, 30. Ibiaga, most recently of North Carolina FC in the NASL. Ulysses wanted the ball over the top. It's broken up. RJ Stretch getting to the ball. Drops it off for Daly. Usman making the overlapping run. Ball's going to reach him. Alex Dixon's recovered. Early cross bounces into the hands of Matt Van Oakley. Highland carries it up the far side. In for Ross. Baril. Rattling around. Kai Briscoe under duress. Sounders, too, managed to deal it away. Usman picking his target. Heaves it downfield. Played along by Anthony Burke-Gilroy. Played 45 minutes as a substitute in that 4-0 loss to Fresno FC. this his first start since joining S2. Club signed him almost a month and a half ago, Dave. There was a bit of a hang-up getting his paperwork ready.
Yeah, he was the last of the signees to join. We've seen a lot more of Jesse Daly.
Tevez switching near side for Usman. Usman inviting cross, free header for Ulysses. Ulysses small of stature, but not afraid to go airborne for that ball. Just couldn't put real venom behind it.
He's been fairly aggressive leaping at balls in practice lately. It's one of his ability to jump is among the best on this team. Because he's not very tall.
Here I was being diplomatic about it. Alex Dixon, cutback cross for Callum Ross. That's a well-slotted shot, and Callie Brown stops it well.
Great instincts by Brown there, because I think he was a little bit screened off and couldn't necessarily see the shot until late.
Brown, former player for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, most recently Rio Grande Valley FC. We remember talking to Tommy Dutra, Sounders goalkeeper coach, at the beginning of the year, saying there were concerns a little bit about Brown's frame, the fact that sometimes big guys can't get down for those shots on the ground, but Brown did well there. 11th minute, another switch into space for Usman. Service lets him down a little bit, but he will have a chance to recover to the ball. Tevez wants the ball over the top. RJ Stretch bumps into Drew Becky, and that's one of the things we're going to be keeping an eye on, Dave. Oklahoma City have a definite size advantage at almost every matchup on the pitch.
It's not necessarily a surprise when the average age is about 8 years older.
Gonzalez into the area here. Two defenders in front of him. Cross picks out Alex Dixon, who pulls it down well, but they say he handled it in the process.
Stretch, for example, 18, out of Spokane Valley, member of the academy, wrapping up his high school year right now.
Energy, meanwhile, most players on this team have some form of professional experience. Overhit ball there, goes out the near sideline. Throw-in finds Baril, and Baril gives away a free kick. Daly sets the ball down. You see it throughout the Sounders organization, a willingness to take those free kicks at midfield, whereas some teams choose to play them long and forward. S2, more often than not, happy to just use it as a chance to retain possession, try to build out of the back. Tevez is giving the ball away there. It's Ross. He wants Gonzalez out left. Gonzalez cutting inside. Links back up with Ross. Baril, the flag is up for offside. It won't matter. S2 staying composed and coordinated at the back, Dave.
Hope to see a replay on that one. I don't necessarily know how offside he was. We don't have the greatest angle over here. But the laying through those triangles at that tight in front of goal.
Brown ready to get us back underway here. We mentioned it at the top of the broadcast. The weather a little bit schizophrenic lately. The rains continue to pour down, and that looks to have affected Brown's kick a little bit. And S2 pull it back to reset. Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit www.selectsportsamerica.com. Receive free shipping on orders over $50. Brown under pressure there. Wins a goal kick off of it. That's been a problem area for him in his time with S2.
He had a little chat with Kai Briscoe after that one. I think he wanted Briscoe in a different spot to accept a pass.
That's perfect June Pacific Northwest weather. About 64, 65 degrees, rainy, overcast. All the classic elements of the modern American summer.
We might get some sun showers later. Like right now.
Callum Ross, Baril linking up well with Alex Dixon. Dixon, a ball in. Sakari Carter is there. Back to Baril. And Baril's effort is high and wide. 12 years in the Real Madrid Academy. Spent the Spaniard Jose Baril. Most recently of the Harrisburg City Islanders, where he was very prolific. 11 goals and 15 assists in his 77 appearances for that club. 16th minute, no score. Both these clubs in the early goings just trying to feel one another out, Dave.
S2 struggling to get off the patterns that they like to develop along those flanks. Their most successes come from those long switches to Usman.
Another giveaway by S2. Lethal ball to Dixon, squared back, and a stop on the line. Not clear yet, though. Ball's gone out for a corner, but a Herculean effort from S2 to deny at the back end. See it again here, the ball into Dixon. Clever from him to square it back to Valesky. And then Gonzalez's follow-up shot just blocked by fantastic team play. Gonzalez is going to have to wait a moment.
Sakari Carter stuck a little foot out. I don't know if USL is going to let him, but I put him up for save of the week with that.
Christian Ibiaga getting a talking to after he's squaring up with Jesse Daly. Gonzalez waiting to send in this corner. Low ball toward the near post, headed back out by Carter. Again from Gonzalez. And that one off the top of Ibiaga's head and into the left center field bleachers. Brown under pressure once more. Clever header there. Burke Gilroy toward RJ Stretch. The byline, space for the cross. It stayed in. Baril manages to find Richard Dixon, and the Energy will have a chance to try to spring a counter. Quickly up to Alex Dixon. Richard Dixon. Ball in. Oh, S2 dodging a bullet there. Two bodies in front of the net. Neither one can tuck it away.
S2 is going to have to put more pressure in the middle third of the field right now. Defensively, they're just letting Oklahoma, the Energy, get through. Let's let the Energy create several opportunities early.
You see it there, Brown waving his teammates forward. Energy playing a very high line as S2 try to restart, build it out of the back style. I think the Energy realized that if they force Brown to play a long ball, they like their chances to win the second one. Carter going over the top toward Estrada. Ibiaga wins out. Becky, Highland. And one away by Burke Gilroy. He's trying to spring Ulysses, and look at the foot speed of Denzo Ulysses. Well-timed recovery run from Kyle Highland, though. Ulysses surveying his options from the far sideline. He wants Burke Gilroy. Floated back to Tevez. Marlon Vargas. That one might fall through. And Matt Van Oekel aggressive off his line. Plenty of experience has Matt Van Oekel. Of course, Dave, I feel I should inform you his most prestigious appointment was when he was the goalkeepers coach for the women's soccer team at Carleton College in southern Minnesota while he was with Minnesota United. Go Knights.
Is that your first Carleton College reference?
I think that's the first time I've ever, Mike dropped Carleton College on the air. 20th minute. This is Gonzalez once more. Callie Brown aggressive off his line once more. I think with the height difference, you wonder if John Hutchinson has almost greenlit Callie Brown to sort of play that goalkeeper position like a free safety with balls in the air into the penalty area today.
He towers over Briscoe and Carter, and honestly, he's bigger than all the Energy players as well. You might as well let him use that advantage. He doesn't have center backs that he can count on in the air.
And for those watching at home trying to figure out exactly what that height difference calculates out to, Callie Brown is 6'6". Jesse Daly holding it on the near sideline. Too much behind that ball. Goes out for an Energy throw-in. Richard Dixon was trying to get some free yardage. Forced to move back by Rosendo Mendoza.
He wanted to take about a third of the field.
Ball over the top, and RJ stretches offside.
Stretch has 8 goals with the U19 Academy this year, so look for him to kind of do what the ideal is for Hopiau and Hines, to get in on goal.
Stretch has looked promising, not afraid to battle physically. Out on that right side so far. And another overhit ball will result in a goal kick. The USL's official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league 24/7. Follow @USL on Twitter. And you mentioned Nick Hines, Shannon Hopiau, 2 players that are in the, well, I would say 18, but I more rightly would say 17 that John Hutchinson has listed for today. They, of course, played long and hard minutes against the Sacramento Republic on Wednesday on short-term contracts to the MLS Seattle Sounders in the 4th round of the U.S. Open Cup.
That frustrating extra time loss for the Sounders in the Open Cup is not as frustrating as the Energy's loss when they lost 5-2 in extra time to an amateur side back on May 16th.
Highland, and straight into the hands of Callie Brown. And you mentioned it, it was 2-1 in, I believe, the 90th minute before Energy conceded an equalizer, and then that was the straw that broke the camel's back. 3 goals they surrendered in the extra time period. Well, David Estrada putting in some hard work at midfield. And another poor giveaway on the attempted long ball. Van Oekel targeting the head of Callum Ross. Usman controls the second ball but can't keep it in. Marlon Vargas gets a header to it. Richard Dixon lunges into that ball, concedes the free kick. And Mendoza going to hold up the restart, take another look at it there. Yeah, just first touch was poor. He knew it, got away from him, tried to go back for it, and wound up getting Marlon Vargas instead. 25th minute, 0-0 between these two sides. Daly wanted to go long. Couldn't get it far enough. Now it's back with Ibiaga. And he will be content to go back to Matt Van Oekel. Guzman lifts that ball up and out of play. Alex Dixon has looked dangerous out on that near sideline for the Energy so far, Dave.
He's kind of had his way right now on that edge, and it's an adjustment that S2 will have to make. Maybe get on him a little bit earlier.
That's Sakari Carter conceding the free kick after barreling into Callum Ross. Richard Dixon here. Marlon Vargas all over him. And does enough to win the throw-in for S2.
That's good defense for a guy that's really known for his passing ability rather than defensive.
Alex Dixon up toward Valesky. Kai Briscoe goes to ground. Guzman will have a chance to turn it. Estrada heads out to the right side. Burke Gilroy gives chase. Highland jumps over a sliding Burke Gilroy. Baril draws the free kick. Play restarted quickly. It's found Gonzalez in the corner. Briscoe out with the pressure. Energy will take a throw-in. Drew Becky wasn't able to hold on to that ball. Estrada heads it down. Turned over once more. I was going to say a few minutes ago that S2 had found a way to play themselves into the possession game, but they've just been frustrated trying to link up with one another.
Good cover there from Carter.
Burke Gilroy finds his fellow Australian, Jesse Daly. Of course, the boss, John Hutchinson, an Aussie himself, something that has helped out with recruiting before. Last year led to the addition of Stephen White. Carter breaks up the intended through ball for Alex Dixon. And Daly draws a free kick off Baril.
S2 has a history of giving their coaches the power to bring in talent from their region. Ezra Hendrickson brought several in from the Caribbean.
Guzman in full stride, realizes he's not going to get to that one in time. Pity. And while it was in the air, the ball looked inviting. Richard Dixon. Alex Dixon pops that one up. Gonzalez gives chase. Ulysses. Now it winds up being a good move. You have to wonder if he was aware that Miguel Gonzalez was there lurking behind him when he headed that ball back to his keeper, though.
Touch more speed from Gonzalez, and that would have been very dangerous.
Briscoe going to take some space here, and he has it plucked away by Chavez. Estrada bats this ball down. Guzman moving to his left. Guzman gets it, trying to get it back to Estrada. He'll get to this ball. intelligent possession from David Estrada. Now Usman trying to open up some space for a cross. And manages to get one in, but it's right at Van Oekel. Dave is out of space where Usman should try to do more to get the cutback cross on.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen something low, targeting the penalty spot. Seattle had the players in the area. And S2 tends to look more for cutbacks rather than lofted crosses because David Estrada doesn't have the kind of height that's going to be necessary to win those balls in the air.
Van Oekel misreading the sightlines once again. We've played a half hour here at Cheney Stadium. 0-0 so far between Sounders FC2 and OKC Energy FC. Sakari Carter. Marlon Vargas wide now for Usman. And another low cross from Usman. You can see it there, visible frustration in his body language. He wanted to do better with that ball. Van Oekel trying to link up with Alex Dixon. But he's struggling. It's something we've talked to all the keepers about, and they all say the same thing. Look, when you're playing in a stadium designed for baseball, the angles are off. You can't rely on your usual sight lines, and that can have a huge effect on how you play the game. Meanwhile, here's Alex Dixon steaming down the near side, going into the middle, back heel to Baril. An open Valesky, and Callie Brown slides forward and takes it off his foot.
I've liked Callie Brown coming off his line today. He's done a great job.
Another look at it here. A clever back heel, setting up the ball through. And Brown using every inch of that frame, just making it impossible for Valesky to have an open angle while he closed him down. Great goalkeeping. Chavez to the near side for Richard Dixon. Richard Dixon here, lofted cross, man at the back post, and ultimately they're so tied up with the defenders that Callie Brown has an easy time collecting it. He'll heave it out to Tevez. Ball's behind Ulysses. Ulysses over top, he wants Estrada. Burke Gilroy. Now they're going to pick out Usman in space. Usman goes for the early cross, only finds Chavez. And there's been more room to work for Usman down that near side of the field so far, Dave, but hasn't had a chance to make much of it.
I liked on that one, though, he tried to get an angle to come in rather than just straight to the end line. Presenting those different angles should give him continued space over.
RJ Stretch dropping back, manages to intercept that ball. Briscoe wants another big switch toward Usman. And Usman, despite some acrobatic efforts, can't keep it in play. Alex Dixon. Now Baril on the near side. Chavez looking to switch. Becky, Highland making some space for him. Now Highland receives it. And under close pressure from RJ Stretch, they go all the way back to Van Oekel. Highland turns and screams at his teammates he wanted more support.
Great job by S2 forcing the energy to retreat.
Richard Dixon gets by Daly. Kai Briscoe also goes airborne, wins a long header. Callum Ross, the Englishman, goes back to Becky. Now it's Ulysses on the far side. Gets the return ball from Stretch. Ulysses going on a big run here. Tripped up by Baril, now back to his feet. Drops it off to Uzman. It's Marlon Vargas. Tevez. Daly. And S2 take their foot off the gas.
Ulysses is still in a central position.
Stretch wins that header. And Highland does enough to lift it down the line. Stretch wants to get this ball in play. They're going to leave it for Denzo Ulysses. The Haitian Youth International. A couple years ago was named to the best 11 at the Caribbean Cup for the U20s. Jose Baril looking for Gonzalez. Ulysses disrupts his run. Highland in toward Valesky, chesting it inward toward Gonzalez. Dispossessed once more by Stretch tracking back. Briscoe wants to go quickly. Hits it straight at Chavez. Ross, Baril, Highland. And Gonzalez can't hold it in. Watch to get exclusive video content and photography from across the USL. Make sure to follow the league's official Instagram account at USL Soccer. .38th minute here at Cheney Stadium. Both teams starting to figure out where the seams might exist in the opposition. Ibiaga heads that away from Estrada. Burke Gilroy heads it right back to him. Flick on header from Estrada. He was hoping that Burke Gilroy's run would continue and carry him onto that ball, but Van Oekel read it well. Ibiaga. Up to Alex Dixon. Forced to track back under pressure. He really wants to turn and now finds an angle to. Picked up Baril. Richard Dixon. Back for Baril. Did that roll over the line? Assistant referee says it has.
Early in the season, we talked about Tevez learning to play as a defensive midfielder. I think we've seen a strong improvement there, especially with that play. It's turned into a ball hawk.
Couple of rough-looking challenges now lead to a long ball for Valesky. Advantage played. Briscoe concedes the corner. Gonzalez will take it. Ibiaga getting forward to join in, as is Callum Ross, Drew Becky. Callie Brown looks like a linebacker waiting to pounce. Ball from Gonzalez. Well,
Let's just do it all again.
Ipiaga was the first one to it. Came off an S2 defender, so we'll line up again. One good corner deserves another. This time toward the middle of the goal. That one finds the ground inside the 18. Lifted clear, helped along by Burke Gilroy. Retained by the Energy. Gonzalez picking up his head, floats that ball in, and it's straight to the hands of Callie Brown.
S2's changed their corner defense a little bit. It used to be every man in the box, but they're putting two right at the edge now. They may be able to counter out of it.
After the giveaway by Estrada, Energy wanted to go quickly. Sakari Carter just puts that ball about 15 rows into the stands to slow things up a little. Baril. Richard Dixon. Dixon's cross bounces off a defender, comes for Baril. He's getting double teamed, and he's dispossessed. Marlon Vargas was hoping to link up with Burke Gilroy. 42nd minute. Richard Dixon. Space for a cross. Hit that one hard. Alex Dixon back across the face of goal and skied over the net. Christian Valesky looks to have won a corner at least. Pardon me, a throw-in as that one came out the touchline. A little bit tough to tell from our angle here in the booth. And that will be a free kick given away by Gonzalez. Take another look at it there. Floated cross in from Richard Dixon. Brilliant first touch from Alex Dixon. And then just shoveled away. Great defensive effort. And Valesky ruining the fact that he couldn't get in front of him. Restart from Brown. RJ Stretch wins the free kick.
Weather changed again. If we get snow or hail, we'll have all four seasons in the first half.
Ball over the top for Ulysses. Looking for his options. He wants Estrada. Estrada can't get to that ball. Usman arriving. And Usman, well, he really went for it, Dave. And he really got a hold of it. How about that?
A little too excitement for him. Usman doesn't get many shots off, and that lack of experience might show here in the replay.
Well, in his defense, the ball does take a bounce right as it comes up to his foot. So what became hopefully a thunderous shot became more of a drop kick, really. And the people in foul territory down the first baseline will be chasing that one down the stands. Usman laid in there, going to lead to a free kick, and looks to be a caution in the works as Usman lunged in late against Richard Dixon. And you can see Rosina Mendoza saying, listen, you know what you did, I know you know what you did, and it's a yellow card, and that'll be the end of it.
Usman isn't debating that, really.
Thankfully, cooler heads seem to have prevailed. Usman immediately was offering his apologies. Ibiaga to take this kick as we tick toward the end of the 45 minutes. Waiting to get word on how much stoppage time we can expect to play. Becky. The give and go from Baril. Gonzalez unable to knock that ball down, but it comes back to Richard Dixon. Dixon lofting one in. Kai Briscoe goes to ground, heads the ball out, but only as far as Highland. Briscoe heads it again, finds Estrada. Estrada into open space for Burt Gilroy. The ball carries him wide. Ulysses making the underlapping run, picks up this ball, being run down from behind Baril, shakes off the tackle. Now Ulysses floats one in to the head of Estrada, headed away by Ibiaga. Does see Daly, and Daly's over the bar. And no stoppage time is what we're going to play. Whistle goes after that promising chance, but at the break, Sounders FC 2 are level with OKC Energy 0-0. Dave, your final thoughts on the first half?
S2 started to get their rhythm, created opportunities late. It's interesting that most of those came through Ulysses, where their early success was from Ibrahim out wide. So I liked what I saw. Jesse Daly's shot was well taken.
We'll take a break. Once again, your score at the half, 0-0 between S2 and the OKC Energy here on ESPN+.
If I told you I'd give you directions to the greatest place on earth, what would you think? Would you pack your bags for Cali? Put on a little hat with mouse ears? No need. See, the greatest place on earth is right here in your backyard. I'm talking about Cheney Stadium, the South Sound's crown jewel and home of Tacoma Rainiers baseball. There's a little something for everyone at a Rainiers game. And when views of the field are this good and drinks are this cold, you'll get one taste and be hooked. Tickets are available at TacomaRainiers.com. Rainiers baseball. This is our city.
Hi, my name is Ray Sari, center mid, and I got one question for you.
I'm David Olson. I'm a forward, and I got one question for you.
I have one question for you. I'm Francisco Narbon. I'm a center mid. I got one question for you.
Do you S2?
Do you S2?
Do you S2?
I S2.
I S2. We S2.
We S2.
We S2.
Do I S2?
Do I S2?
Do I S2?
What kind of question is that?
What kind of question is that?
What kind of question is that?
Now I know what you're thinking.
I know what you're thinking.
I know what you're thinking.
Because I'm thinking it too.
Do you S2?
What does S2 mean to me? What does S2 mean to me?
Love.
I suck.
I got a question.
I got a question for you.
I got a question.
Do you S2?
We came here with a unique challenge, and that was to solve the problem of producing over 500 games and do so in a cost-effective way for the clubs, in a way that produced high-quality broadcasts and standardize the look and feel of all of those productions. Outside of the live event, the match experience, outside of that, the broadcast is the window into the brand for the club and for the league. You need to be able to capture that in a compelling way with a quality broadcast.
A large portion of the teams work with our partner Vista on REMI Productions, remote integration. What that means is that the production of the game is actually handled mostly away from site. So the way these games will work is a truck will show up locally at the stadium. There'll be 4 camera operators there, and those signals are sent all the way here to Fort Lauderdale. And here locally at Vista, the game is cut. The game has graphics put on top of it. Replay is done here, and in many cases, the play-by-play is actually done on site here at Vista as well. So after the game is fully produced, we have a signal that goes to our partner ESPN Plus for US distribution. We have a signal that goes to YouTube for international distribution. And then for the teams that have an over-the-air local broadcast regional sports network deal, the signal is sent to their partners as well. So even for the games that aren't done with a REMI production, all games flow through Vista, and all those signals have to get sent out all over the world to reach the fans of USL. Because of those REMI productions, we'll oftentimes have 5 or 6 games going on at one time. Nobody is doing sports REMI productions on this level consistently.
We have built one of the largest REMI production models of any league in the world. And now we're able to deliver anywhere in the world to our partners at ESPN, fully produced matches from all over the country. We couldn't be more thrilled with the progress we've made and some of the innovative things now we're going to be able to start to bring into the broadcast moving forward.
We are back at Cheney Stadium. Halftime between Sounders FC 2 and the OKC Energy FC 0-0. They played through 45 minutes. Andrew Harvey alongside Dave Clark for you here on ESPN Plus. Dave, a lot of back and forth in that first half. Obviously, head coach John Hutchinson and S2 don't have the luxury of looking beyond the next 45 minutes. But from our ivory tower up here in the box, we have the luxury of taking a broader perspective of what might come next and after for S2 in the next couple matches coming up here. I'll pull them up on screen to take a look at them. Obviously, the next one is a road trip down to Las Vegas Lights FC. That's on June 16th.
A large traveling contingent for that one. I know dozens of ECS members are going down there, basically using the S2 trip as an excuse to get to Vegas.
Well, should be, potential for a gettable game here, though. Vegas struggling, as is LA Galaxy 2. Right now, if you're taking a look at the standings, really the game to be worried about is that rematch against Swope Park Rangers. Carlton Belmar really victimized S2.
He's leading the league with 8 goals so far this season.
And of course, they'll be playing against Real Monarchs later on as well. Well, it is still halftime here at Cheney Stadium. Looking around the USL, let's take a look at some of the nominees for goals and saves of the week.
Games this season. We'll score again if they want to get a point out of this one. Allen, at the top of the 18, quick shot, oh, what a goal! Sensational! That's their DNA. This is Nashville SC.
We've seen Cooper on the left, and then we've seen Kevin McPhail on the left. Just having
Johnson! 3 coaches in 3 years. The fans will start to get a little bit restless. Chance now from long range. It's a hit for Phoenix in the 6th minute of play. An absolute missile from Cortez.
Don't have them separate. There's the lead by Ring, the bomb by Saad. We tried to warn you. Soon Saad
Spins twice around Calistri, finds Johnson. Johnson shooting, he puts it in. Jason Johnson makes it 3 for Phoenix.
pushing the issue. Back post header. Oh no! Not possible! How did Matt Pickens keep that out?
At home against Fresno FC as Gordon gets on the end of this one, trying to send it back to Bruce. A little behind him, sent back out. Lopez, a chance denied by Alex Mangles.
Ball lofted across. Snap header! Steered aside. It's a corner. Wonderful stuff from Rainish to keep that out of the corner.
Serving for Cordova.
Matty Osich, is he onside? Appears to be. Angling toward goal. Strong strike. A big save from Andre Rose.
Hi, my name is Ray Sorry, center mid, and I got one question for you.
I'm David Olson. I'm a forward, and I got one question for you.
I have one question for you. I'm Francisco Narbon. I'm a center mid. I got one question for you.
Do you S2?
Do you S2?
Do you S2?
I S2.
I S2. We S2.
We S2.
We S2.
Do I S2?
Do I S2?
Do I S2?
What kind of question is that?
What kind of question is that?
What kind of question is that?
Now I know what you're thinking.
I know what you're thinking.
I know what you're thinking. Because I'm thinking it too.
Do you S2?
What does S2 mean to me? What does S2 mean to me?
Love.
I suck.
I got a question.
I got a question for you. I got a question.
Do you S2?
We're back at Cheney Stadium, 0-0 between Sounders FC 2 and Oklahoma City Energy FC through the first half. Hello, everyone. Welcome back in. Andrew Harvey alongside Dave Clark here on ESPN Plus for you out here in Tacoma, Washington, for the first of 2 USL matches being played today. Dave, there were some chancy moments at both ends of the field, but when you take a look at S2 in the second half, who could come in off the bench and maybe bash in a game-winning goal?
I think the guy I like the most off the bench is going to be Nick Hines. There's been some success on that left side. Usman's getting there, and I think that he might be able to support a little bit more. Plus, having those 2 speedsters on that flank should force the Dixons to retreat a little bit more frequently.
Yeah, Richard and Alex Dixon have caused no shortage of trouble on the right side of the formation for OKC Energy. Rosendo Mendoza blows his whistle. We're underway here in the second half. Energy now moving from right to left on your screen. S2 going back the other way. On the back line, dangerous ball here. Gonzalez gets a foot to it. Looks like it was tucked away from him. Come back to the backline performance after this, but kind of indicative of what I was about to ask. A couple spotty moments.
In the half before we were on the air, I was going to praise Briscoe and Carter, but that moment, both of them kind of flubbed it.
Gonzalez from the far side with the outswinger. Control by the Energy. Gonzalez. Usman knocks that ball out of play. Left back was very involved in the attacking efforts in the first half, which opened up some of those opportunities for Alex Dixon. Estrada clouded into from behind if the ball's away. Jesse Daly looking for Denzo Ulysses on the far side. Ulysses now. First touch was a little bit awkward. He picks up his head. He's looking to distribute. Estrada calling for him to go backward. The give and go was stretched. Ulysses to the byline, pulls it back, and the cutback cross winds up being a giveaway to Chavez. Quick free kick. Gives us time to remind you that there are 2 players in the book. Drew Becky for the visitors and Ibrahim Usman from S2. Bit of boot ball out of both sides right now. Well, Dave, just to come back to that thought about the back line, we'd said that the 2 center backs and Callie Brown had really impressed you, but there were some definite vulnerabilities as we saw in the opening seconds of the second half.
Yeah, really it's about reducing the times that those 3 have to be active. And that's going to become from pressing a little higher. That's going to come from Ulysses and Usman defending the flanks just a little bit better, a little bit more aggressive from Tevez and Daly.
See there, S2 manager John Hutchinson keeping a watchful eye on the proceedings. Pretty active manager on the touchline. Coordinates with assistant head coach Wade Weber very closely. Energy will take a throw in from the near sideline. Baril from distance and another stop from Brown. Well, Brown has done everything asked of him and more so far in this match. See there, Energy boss Steve Cook trying to get things back on course for his side. Had a very successful season last year. A couple of players in double-digit goals, 15, 14. Just things haven't quite worked out for them the same way this year. Highland looking for Gonzalez. It's poked away by Ulysses. And lifted back out of play.
S2 struggling to win that second ball currently. They're getting the toe poke in there, causing a little bit of trouble.
Neat interception there from Briscoe, who's on a full head of steam. charging downfield. Short cut back across the stretch, ball gets beyond him. And the effort is for naught. S2 now just trying to hold things up to get Briscoe time to get back. Now Ulysses got it. He's going to drift into the middle. Ulysses from long range. And well, he was a long ways away from where he took the effort and from where the effort ended up. Voting is now open for the USL's monthly awards for May. Cast your vote for Player of the Month, Goal of the Month, and Save of the Month this weekend at uslsoccer.com. 50th minute. These two sides trying to reestablish the rhythm that they had in the first half. Alex Dixon gets the better of Usman. That cross, it sure looked like it came off Carter's arm. The appeals will be waved away. Meanwhile, Estrada trying to get things going as the rain starts to pick back up here at Cheney Stadium. Tevez threads that ball nicely to Ulysses. Stretch. Ulysses. Lifted in there and caught by Van Oekel. We'll see if we can't get another look at the penalty appeal from moments ago. But it really looked like that ball in from Alex Dixon caught the arm of Sakari Carter. Highland going over top. Callie Brown off his line and meets it at the top of the penalty area. Chavez wins that ball with a tight challenge. Alex Dixon in the middle, popped up off Carter and headed away by Carter. Baril. Dixon, lovely first touch. And going down in the box as it rolls by is Valesky, out for an S2 throw-in. Take another look at this opportunity. Cross there. Valesky looks like he just kind of got tripped up on the turf.
Yeah, something reached out and grabbed his toe, pulled him down.
Oh, what a shame, too, had he managed to keep his footing there. I mean, that's about as sure a thing as you can get. Baril looking for Highland. Firm challenge from Stretch puts the ball into touch. Tevez. Stretch. Well, you admire the enthusiasm from Stretch, but you do kind of wonder what the plan was.
I think he thought Estrada was going to sprint onto that while David was holding up his run.
This is Richard Dixon down the far side. Has Gonzalez in the middle, cut back cross. That one still finds its way to Valesky. Brown's off his line and still knocks it away. Not out of the woods yet. Now it's Baril back inside the penalty area, looking for the cross. Drops it back off, and RJ Stretch is the only man there. He goes for the back pass, and Denzo Ulysses happy to clear his lines. Now Gonzalez. And that one conceded on the corner by Briscoe. Well, just a nightmare deflection off Jesse Daly. Callie Brown wasted no time, came out, and that's the second time today he's taken away a very promising opportunity from Valesky. Gonzalez from the near corner, going for the in-swinger. Headed away. Controlled by Burke Gilroy. Lifted over toward Vargas. And has it taken away by Dixon. Alex Dixon receives that ball from Richard Dixon. Byline. Sakari Carter is there and gives away the throw. We're going going to see our first substitution of the match. Well, it's the man you mentioned, Dave, Nick Hines, going to come on here for Jesse Daly.
I'm going to expect Burt Gilroy to drop back into the defensive midfield role. Probably Vargas becomes the central midfielder. Obviously, Hines is going to be the left.
Hines, 1 goal to his name this season, scored it in the season opener against Timbers 2, but has shown some phenomenal pace out on the wing for the Tacoma club. Tevez. You wanted Ulysses. You could see him drifting toward the bottom of your screen. Ball from Carter, easily won by Ibiaga. Under pressure, ball comes back to Brown. Marlon Vargas running hard. Alex Dixon wins that ball and carries it through a couple of challenges. Now finds Chavez. Baril. And a free kick given away. Top of the 18 by Burt Gilroy. This is going to be a very dangerous opportunity in these slick conditions. Classic Seattle sunshine for you. Just about mid-June and pouring rain.
It's dropped a couple degrees lately too. It's a little chill in the air.
Gonzalez and Alex Dixon over this ball. 3 men in the wall for S2. Baril going to join in, see if he can't screen Callie Brown. Gonzalez over the wall, and Brown a diving stop, but he can't hold the rebound. And it's lifted to safety by Dylan Tevez. Baril, another look at that shot here. Bouncing ball inside the penalty area now for S2. Hines, the recent substitute, squaring up with Valesky. And now Callum Ross. Hines nowhere to go, still gets it to Sakari Carter. And Carter forced to give away the throw-in. Quickly taken. It's Valesky. Over the head of everybody, Ulysses holds off Gonzalez, and it's out for a goal kick. And John Hutchinson going to waste no time. He's going to use his second substitution here before the hour mark to bring on Ray Sorry for Anthony Burt Gilroy.
At practice yesterday, Sorry knew that he wasn't starting, and he told me, I just want to get out there and play. Now he's got his opportunity. Plus, it'll help anchor the defense. That's what he does best here.
Sorry was a player who drew plaudits from MLS Sounders head coach Brian Schmetzer for his effort in the U.S. Open Cup. Barely able to walk. He was cramping up so badly by the end of extra time, but still stayed on the pitch and found ways to make himself useful. '59th minute. Throw in taken by Ulysses. Marlon Vargas, more pressure. Ibiaga pulls it around him neatly. Ty Briscoe, back to Brown. RJ Stretch gets to the header. David Estrada wound up on the deck. It's corralled by Van Oekel.
Hutch is probably going to have to save his third sub for late. Making 2 so early might limit his options if an unfortunate injury happens.
Definitely seemed to be a move that was geared to trying to change the current atmosphere of the match. We'll see how that pans out over the next 10 minutes or so. Marlon Vargas throwing in his shoulder against Christian Ibiaga and does enough to win the ball. This is Tevez. Vargas lets that one run, and Alex Dixon says thank you very much.
Also, thank yous to the referee there. His back makes a nice pivot.
Well, you know, part of the field. Usman trying to slice a ball in there. Alex Dixon. Pardon me, Richard Dixon is dispossessed by Hines. Now they do battle in the far corner. Usman closed down by Ross. And S2 will reset. We've played an hour here at Cheney Stadium. 0-0 between Sounders FC2 and OKC Energy FC. And we mentioned Matt Van Okel's trouble reading the field in the first half. Well, Callie Brown had some of his own just there. And now the first substitution of the match for the visitors. And it's Francis Atuahene coming on. Miguel Gonzalez is gone. And the one interesting thing about that change is Gonzalez has taken every set piece this afternoon for the visitors. So you wonder now who will be called to step up to the plate on corners and free kicks. Sorry, wants Usman over the top. Flag stayed down, but Usman can't keep that in play. And just like that, it stopped raining and the sun's back out. It's Alex Dixon. That's a big touch from him, and it's gone out.
Probably going to see a bit riskier passing from both sides in the attacking third, just because each of them knows that they can win with just one goal. Both of them also know that they need their third win on the season.
Nasty looking 50-50 ball. Everyone gets up pointing for a free kick, except for the referees. And someone's just earned themselves a talking to. Well, it seems the disciplinary session is over. Kyle Highland restarts us with a throw-in. Usman intercepts that ball, loses his footing in the process. Ross trying to spring Atuahene. Sorry, Vargas. Back pass to Van Okel. This is Atuahene. Making his second appearance of the season. Back heel to Atuahene. Sliding challenge from Carter. Not the prettiest looking of challenges, but it was effective. Give and go. Alex Dixon. And Dixon still not sure how that ball came off his foot that way. Saw him glance down at his boot. Want to keep up with the best social media from around the USL? Join Kelsey Steele every Friday on the USL's social media channels for the latest edition of Off the Post.
Alex Dixon wishes that last shot was off the post. It would have been a lot better for him.
It's just one of those ones where you can tell from the way he struck the ball. I think he intended to cross it and just got it in the wrong part of his foot, curled it up and out of play. Well, S2 ball. And another free kick. Quickly taken to Sari. Tevez looking for stretch. Highland wins the header. Briscoe. Ulysses. And chopped down Marlon Vargas. Rosendo Mendoza, I think, trying to send the message that he's had about enough of the physical challenges. Having a word there with Highland. Briscoe restarts short and on the ground to stretch. Ulysses. Looking for the give and go, but overhit it. Head along by Valesky. Baril gets a touch to that ball. It's poked away from him and out for a corner. Appears we have our answer about set pieces. Jose Baril out to take the corner from the far side. It's to be an outswinger. Well, the initial header was won in a pretty rough scrum, and then a pile of bodies landed on the edge of the six. That was Sakari Carter that paid the price. Baril has won this for the Energy. And an overhit ball from Valesky. Valesky has had a frustrating afternoon. Had a couple of chances that were promising, just whether it's a hop, skip, or jump, or one particularly unfortunate instance of extra long blade of grass that tripped him up. Just has not been able to convert any of those chances. This ball from Baril grabbed by Callie Brown.
Stretch has done a good job forcing Highland to work, making him run.
Tevez wins that ball for S2. And Nick Hines chopped down, lead to a free kick. Going to be a substitution first. Khalif Al Hassan going to check in for Jose Baril.
See how good the crowd's memory is. It's a former Portland Timber.
Nick Hines over this free kick on the far sideline. Two-man wall. Hines keeps it short to Usman. And S2 looks to switch the field. Marlon Vargas, Ulysses, straight into Highland, wins a throw-in. Quickly taken, finds RJ Stretch. And Denzel Ulysses is offside. Just under 20 minutes to play. No goals between S2 and the OKC Energy FC. Dave, you have to say that neither team has made a point of looking particularly goal dangerous the last several minutes. This is still Valesky. Highland, ball to the top of the box. And Ulysses knocks it over to the OKC bench. Callum Ross. Ross has his shot get deflected by Carter. Collision off the ball here. Free kick given. And Ross is going to get a talking to. Which, Dave, you kind of have to wonder how many conversations Rosendo Mendoza wants to have with someone before somebody gets booked.
Well, that was the last conversation.
So the penultimate last conversation. Kai Briscoe to restart, and he'll just go back to the keeper. That ball falls through. Nick Hines going to have a chance on this one. Sliding clearance from Richard Dixon, concedes the corner, which by my count is the first of the afternoon for S2.
You're a good counter because that's the first of the afternoon for S2.
I can count all the way from 0 to 1. You hear that? Somewhere my high school math teacher is weeping. S2 look like they're considering playing the short corner. Ray Sari out there over the ball. Serves this one in. It's over everybody's heads. Kai Briscoe gives chase. And
he gets hammered.
Calling for a free kick. That's Drew Becky, who's on a caution. Kai Briscoe got to taste the ad board there. Marlon Vargas's day is done. He'll be replaced by David Olson, the former Seattle University man, Sounders Academy product. Gonna check in now. And what a time this would be for Olson to get himself involved in the match. Hasn't scored since last July. Two-man wall, Hines. Chance to put this into the mixer. Does so. And it leads to a throw-in. Usman. Sends that ball in. Winds up coming back out to him. And then there's a physical challenge as the ball goes away. And another bad challenge. And And it turns out that was the last conversation. The card is out of the referee's pocket. I'm going to check on Kai Briscoe first, who has stayed down. Well, Al Hassan going to plead his case. Not going to get much. And that's one of those ones where, honestly, that may have been the most innocuous of the last couple challenges that we've seen. But nevertheless, order of the sequence, Al Hassan's the one who gets booked. Sorry, restarts play to David Olson. 15 minutes to go. Atuahene sprinting onto this ball. Challenge from Tevez, gets the ball back. Estrada. He and Ibiaga have really been battling with one another today. Shuffled in by Ross. It finds Alex Dixon. Alex Dixon is in here. The shot gets by Brown and trickles over the line. It's another late goal for a visitor. And in the 76, Alex Dixon has put OKC Energy on top. Well, back line had suspect moments. Another look at it there. The ball in from Ross. Phenomenal touch to control, and it just goes between the legs of Callie Brown. Made so many great stops today, but ultimately can't get to that last one. And now S2 just under 14 minutes to look for an equalizer. One more look at it here. Phenomenal touch. Ulysses pokes it away and just gets through a couple of defenders on its way over the goal line.
Four different defenders that, if just an inch different, probably could have stopped that shot.
David Olson back to Tevez. Nick Hines. Uzman. And S2 reset. Tevez going to carry forward. Nick Hines gets it over toward Uzman. He ties up with Al Hassan. S2 win the free kick. Alex Dixon, the man who just scored his second goal of the season, going to receive the hero's exit here and also burn off a little bit more time for the visitors. And he is going to be replaced by Jaime Saya, the final substitution for Steve Cook's side. Saya going to make his 12th appearance for the Energy this season.
All out of subs for both sides. S2 should have confidence in their ability to score against Oklahoma. Oklahoma's giving up essentially 2 goals a game.
Dixon, Al Hassan, Atuahene. one rolls through. Usman collects. Tevez. Usman. Hoping for Estrada. Now Olsen. A lot of white jerseys around him. Pulls it back, drifts into the middle. Hits it out wide for Ulysses. Peels for handball, and once again waved away, this time on the other end of the field. Sakari Carter knocks that one away. Assistant referee on the near side said that that curled around the corner flag over the byline and is a corner. Meanwhile, the Energy are content to let S2 argue for as long as they want to. And now it will be ruled a throw-in. Al Hassan. Squared up by Tevez. And even now with 9 minutes to play, Al Hassan getting body up. Now makes a move to the byline. Cut back cross, shuffled away by Carter. Only as far as Saya. Wide open to Dixon. Usman going to ground. Dixon wanted to call his own number there. Put it into the wrong side of the side netting. Van Okel off his line. Dave, if this scoreline holds, this will be the second home match in a row that S2 have conceded a game winner in the final 15 minutes of play. Flick on header. Estrada still giving chase. Brought down nicely. A shot! A wonder goal! What an equalizer! S2 pull level in the 83rd minute off the foot of the veteran, David Estrada.
And there's green smoke down with ECS. That's Estrada's 5th goal of the year. When he first showed up at training camp, it was just to find a job anywhere.
Coaching staff, youth development, how about starting striker? S2 now playing quickly. They sprung Nick Hines. Hines a big first touch to the byline. Chance to keep it in play. He'll win a corner. Quick look at that goal. Credit to Stretch, magnificent header. He'll probably get credited for the assist. Estrada one touch. Woo, talk about setting yourself up. S2 have restarted short. And Raysari wins another corner.
His poise on that was incredible because that was a bouncing ball, and we've seen that cause trouble throughout the day.
Ball served across the face of goal. Finds the ground inside the 18. S2 trying to turn it. A shot from distance, and that one will roll harmlessly wide. Still on the back of the Estrada goal. New life injected into S2. You can tell they like their chances. Sia. Picked away by Ulysses. Raysari. Long switch looking for Nick Hines, who's trying to do some marauding down that far sideline. Taking on Dixon. Gets by him, pulls it back. Looking for a left-footed cross. To the byline, served across the face of goal, shot, and turned in once more! Estrada once again, twice in the span of 3 minutes!
As I said, the Oklahoma City Energy give up about 2 goals a game.
Late drama here at Cheney Stadium. You wonder how many smoke bombs ECS has on hand. A lovely move from Nick Hines. Take a look at that. Takes a deflection into David Estrada, lurking at the back post. That's what the veteran knows to do, and no doubt in his mind. And now all the pressure back on the visitors to try to salvage something from this game, and they're working quickly. Our view of the penalty area is obscured a little bit by the smoke. We believe that was Jaime Sia, who chased that ball down. This is Al Hassan to take the corner. Header toward goal. Sia misses high. Well, we asked the question so often at the beginning of the year, what was David Estrada going to be worth to this team? Leadership, certainly. Composure, absolutely. Character, no question. How about banging in late game winners in crucial circumstances? '87th minute now. Sounders 2, astonishingly back on top. 2-1 on a pair of late goals from David Estrada. 6 goals on the year for him now, but the job not done yet. Ibiaga switches the field. Awkward tangle of feet there. Denzel Ulysses leapt for that ball. He missed, and his feet got tangled up.
His feet behind him.
Al Hassan. No ill intent, but still. Take another look at it there. Referee's given a throw-in and nothing more. Tough to award a foul there. Could have been a case for it. And the resulting throw-in winds up in the hands of Callie Brown.
Estrada's 2 goals have him tied for 3rd, or 4th most in the league.
This is Estrada back on the ball now. Guzman, Tevez, Ray Sari. Guzman has it, Nick Hines making the run inside. Wasn't on the same page as Guzman. Still, Van Oekel has to go get it. David Estrada hungry for more, 88th minute. Highland swinging this ball in, looking for Valesky. It falls for Sia. Near side, Atuahene toward goal. Stopped goal by Kai Briscoe. It rolled up on his shin and right into the hands of Callie Brown. Brown sends this past midfield. It's going to bounce over the head of Ibiaga. David Estrada going to plead his case that he didn't have much to do with the infraction there, as Drew Becky got upended. And it is Becky on the restart. All systems go for the Energy, who trail by a goal as we tick toward the 90th minute. Al Hassan, Atuahene, and that one wide of the net and out for a goal kick. Callie Brown may have just had a word with the ball boy telling him to slow down.
We're winning, kid.
Brown trying to milk more time off this clock. puts the ball in play with a heaving kick. Ulysses clearance, unable to go. Valesky goes up against Kai Briscoe. A lot of bodies hitting the deck right now. It's been a long game. It's been a physical one. Big ball over the top. Estrada giving chase. And Becky heads it back to Van Oekel. We hit stoppage time. 4 minutes to be added on. So says referee Rosendo Mendoza. Atuahene straight to Kai Briscoe. Briscoe going back the other way, Estrada. And he's run over by Becky. That is going to be a S2 free kick. Once again, you talked about the veteran presence of David Estrada. Certainly you hope he's all right, but he's going to take his time getting back to his feet either way.
Becky kind of pancake tackled him.
Ray Sari goes short to David Olson. Ulysses. Stretch. Ulysses. Estrada straining behind them. Trying to convince S2 to keep it simple. RJ Stretch chopped down by Sia. And boy, for an academy player, Stretch has had a monster of a game at right wing. This ball for Ray Sari. Into the middle, now he'll switch to Hines. Sari. Give and go with Hines. It's going to trickle over the touchline. Energy short on time now. Another throw in for Oklahoma City. That time off David Olson. Thrown back to Ibiaga. And back to Van Oekel. Estrada still chasing here in this 92nd minute. Dixon goes down against Olson. He'll draw the free kick. And Olson will draw a yellow card. That one goes in the books as a professional foul. Al Hassan waiting for Estrada to be marched back the 10 steps. And now what will come of this free kick? Ball in from Al Hassan, headed from Valesky. On the back of David Olson, collision in midair. Callie Brown is up and collects it. Brown, another thunderous shot. Look at that ball. That must have gone close to, what, 70 yards? It won't matter. The whistle's gone. High drama here at Cheney Stadium on a Sunday afternoon. After going down a goal in the 76th minute to Alex Dixon, David Estrada pumps in a brace in the 83rd and 85th minute, and S2 take a much-needed victory at home, Dave.
It's a strong performance. Obviously, Estrada's going to come away the hero, but I'm really proud of the way that Sakari Carter and Kai Briscoe managed that back line today. Two U19 players playing up to professional level, giving up only that one goal that kind of trickled in. Strong performance by them, and clearly David Estrada's the match day hero.
S2 improved to 3-7-2 on the season. Energy fall to 2-10-1, and they remain winless on the road. 4 losses and a draw. Dave, next up for S2, Las Vegas Lights on June 16th. I mean, how much does this mean going into that match?
It's quite important for them. That road match against the Lights is going to be chaotic. There is an Elvis, there are llamas, plenty of ways to get distracted. So it's a good thing for S2 to carry a victory with them when they go down to Vegas, and they know they'll have some home support with them down there as well.
RJ Stretch. Now, honestly, all the Academy players who were asked to take part in this match filled their roles quite ably.
Yes, I think we're going to see more of RJ Stretch this summer. That performance by him out on the wing gave S2 something that they don't really have a lot of, and that's a target man that can win the ball wide.
And here it is for these young players. Best feeling in the world, celebrating in front of the home support. And it's all smiles here for S2. Energy will try to rebound on Wednesday on the road at Timbers 2 down in Oregon. But it's a great afternoon for celebration here at Cheney Stadium. Again, your final score, Sounders FC 2, OKC Energy 1. That is going to do it for us here from Cheney Stadium and on ESPN Plus. For Dave Clark and our producer Adam Weigel, I'm Andrew Harvey saying so long. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you next time.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.